Welcome to Difficult Conversation Africa broadcast. I present to you the host, Yinka Olaito.
It's another opportunity with Difficult Conversation Podcast Africa, a platform where we discuss issues that many are afraid to talk about. From viral campaign that challenge stereotype to tech tools that amplify voices long ignored, the digital space has become a powerful platform for rights, inclusion, and transformation. But it is not without its own challenges. Barriers to access, online harassment, and digital exclusion still persist till today. In this episode, we will be diving into world of digital advocacy for persons with disability. My guest today is Uche Olivia. She's popularly known as Uche Olivia, but her real name is Moujekwu Uchechukwu. She's a licensed nurse who recently cried out against injustice meted to her by Federal Neuropsychiatric whose basic mental health nursing school in Enugu, Nigeria. And we are glad that the campaign we're running around this is gaining momentum. So today, my guest and I will uncover how persons with disability are using technology to fight for their rights, influence policies, and reshape public perception. Like I said, the topic today is PWD rights and digital advocacy. Welcome, Uche Olivia, to the program.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you for the opportunity. I thank you for what you have done. We're so proud of somebody like you, a licensed nurse, who is putting all our effort to become the best in life. And thank you for speaking out because there are several Uche Olivia outside there whose voice have been ignored because they have nobody. We are so proud of the work you do as a licensed nurse. And thank you for the content you are creating. That is really interesting to note that young and vibrant lady like you are still out there pushing for equity and justice in our society. So we could go straight into the question. The first question I want to ask you, what informed your crying out against injustice and why did you choose to use digital platform?
I had gone for an exam. I've been very, very passionate about becoming a mental health nurse. And I purchased a form with the school you mentioned earlier. And I had gone for the exam. Prior, I already informed the school about my visual impairment and demanded for either of the three accommodations, an extra time, an examiner, or make my question paper in bold print. And at the end of the day, I got nothing. All I got was, if you knew you were unable to read, why then did you come to school? And there is nothing we can do for you. After that incident, it has been a Herculean task getting into any other institution. I was demotivated. So it has been a halt on my career growth. And I decided to come and share my story on the internet because every other person seems to be on the internet. A lot of persons own Android phones and everybody has access to information. I believe that if I am able to share my own story, it will get to every other person out there, including persons who have the authority to make and effect changes about these kind of events happening. So that was the reason I chose the internet, social media, as a tool to cry out, of course.
Yeah, thank you, Iche, for that. And I think that some of the challenges we still have in Nigeria is that many organizations do not even understand what reasonable accommodation means for people with disability, whether it is visual impairment, mobility, or any of the clusters that are available. I was sharing with somebody recently that different clusters has their own different reasonable accommodation. And we're so glad that you spoke out, because many will just take that and continue to roll with life. And that is not that is in 2026. I think we should have gone beyond that, given the fact Nigeria has signed to different laws and all of that. But we will get into that conversation. So the second question: what are some key barriers PWD face when trying to access digital platform for advocacy? For you, are there key barriers that you face, or it was easy for you to access digital tools to raise your concern?
Some of the barriers, I'll mention two. One is inaccessibility. Some of these apps and on the internet, they do not have designs that are, I'm talking now as a visually impaired person, they do not have features that are inclusive. For example, there are color gradings, and some of these apps are just plain. You cannot even access or navigate colors on certain websites. I know how many times I've tried to apply for jobs or work, and once I come into the website, I notice it's just white. And some of people who are visually impaired, they function better when there is contrast. So an example is black background and white text, yellow background and red text, just something to give it contrast so we can be able to read. But you find out that a lot of these websites and apps, they don't even have either of those things or features available. Then another is the auditory aspect. Some of these apps also do not have captions and text for people who are living with different kinds of disability, visual, auditory, to be able to access this internet. So personally, these are the barriers I have faced trying to navigate social media as someone who is visually impaired. I mean, before now, it has been nothing. I've always had been able to do that. But post diagnosis, after I suffered my vision loss, it has been very, very difficult navigating, but we keep pushing.
That's really a very good one. Web accessibility. In Nigeria, we're still struggling with web accessibility in terms of the features that are important. And I like the one that you raised, issue of color contrast. And I think that we need to still grow in those areas. Though I do know also that some of the challenges other cluster have is the fact that when the color is too much, it can spike a form of attack or some form of reaction in them. But I think that we need to create balance. We need to talk with technologies in how to ensure that websites are accessible commonly for everyone. I'm so glad that you raised that. These are some of the fundamentals that we will begin to talk about in our everyday campaign for web accessibility. Thank you for that one again. Do you feel using digital tools to express your grievances can lead to a policy change? When you did it, did you think that you will get justice, or you just want to try?
When I did this, I wasn't thinking about anything in particular. I wasn't seeking justice. I just wanted to,
You just want to hear your own opinion, your grievances.
yes, I just wanted to talk about it and get more people, because I realized after I posted my video, I realized there are 8,000 others who had been through something like that, and then they kept quiet because, aside the stigma, they didn't think any proper changes would be made about it. But I think it's a win-win now, because so far I've seen a couple of other persons come out and share their story, and without feeling any sort of shame about it. So I don't know if that answered the question.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm so happy that initially your thought was not that whether it will gain traction or not. It's just that you just feel like this society has denied you a right, and I think that you should express your view, which is important. Self-confidence. We will get into all that. Yes, but thank God that we are seeking for rights now, and then we also want a policy change. In fact, you have triggered some of the things that you have energized us here more to actually push for some of the things that we have been pushing for. And it's interesting to note that some of the things that we have been saying, that even schools should prepare for person with disability when exam comes, is gaining traction from outside. So thank you for just speaking out. But beyond speaking out now, I'm so sure that we will get policy change. And you're right that I've been traveled up on. We know that something will change. Overnight, I must comment what you said and what you shared. For now, you will know that you are already an internet sensation because your story is everywhere. And we are so glad that we're part of that story. Um, Almost all the major newspapers in Nigeria had covered it, and we are not stopping. We will see a good end to this. I believe God or that, and that's our mission. So now, how can technology, um, companies, and digital platform ensure accessibility and inclusion for PWD? Because now you have identified some of the challenges you face. For other people who want to use this, what are the cries? What are the concerns that you have, and you want to use this platform to raise for technology company to be more inclusive in their designs and all that they do?
Okay, about that, I have a sister who designs, she owns a website agency. And I noticed something when I witnessed her designing a website. There is a feature that she attaches in every website she designs where you can decide to change the fonts of whatever text you're
Okay.
on the website. You can
You are
change the font,
reading.
can change the background to anything just to be very, very suitable. And there is also an audio feature where you can click on the audio and it will read out all this text to you on the screen on the website. And imagine if every other website out there had to include this feature in their web designs. That would make things a whole lot easier with persons living with disabilities.
Yeah, that's really good. That's good. We do have speech to text and text to speech now, though it's not common. And then because of financial implication of adding all those features into it, I think we will grow into it little by little. But I'm happy that you mentioned such that tech companies, web design companies should begin to think about inclusion when they design their websites, looking at a speech to text to speech, or stuff that can make life easier. And I think that you may not know the impact of what you are doing today, particularly when this podcast is shared. We normally share it in different platforms, and I'm sure that you are raising quite vital points that many have overlooked. And somehow I want to thank you because you have become a trailblazer and you have become a champion for cause that you believe that is good. So, aside from that, what role are social media and online community play in amplifying your own voice in demanding for accountability?
A whole lot, a whole lot. Being on this podcast and sharing my story with you is even a big win. My voice has been amplified in numerous ways. I can't even begin to mention. A lot of newspaper publications wrote articles on it. It's on YouTube, it's on Instagram, it's on TikTok, it's on Facebook. It's just all over the place. And a lot of persons are coming out to speak. People are, and the sweet part is, I go through the comments and everybody is condemning these acts, and it makes me so happy because now we know that this is wrong, and we are going to change. We are going to change how these things happen. It's going to end with me most definitely. But yes, social media has really amplified my voice, seriously, and I've got to meet with a lot of prominent people and persons like you, and being on several interviews. It has amplified my voice in so many ways, and I am so grateful. I'm really excited.
Thank you. Thank you. We are so sure that, like you said, this must end with you. This has to, because why do we have disability discrimination against person with disability act since 2018, and this is 2026? The moratorium time of 4 years had been over, and if you go to many public institutions, they are still not accessible. I just feel that people that are supposed to speak out can begin to speak out. I'm so happy with the Lawyer with Disability forum that has contacted you, and I think that we must continue to speak until we get justice. I'm so happy that your voice is being heard loud and clear. I trust that we will continue to have these small voices, and I'm so happy that you are spearheading a great movement. Now people are getting bold to talk about their challenges, something that people are not proud of before. This is good one. You may not know what you have done for the community. It's a great one that you speak out, because it takes you to speak out for people to amplify such voice. So kudos to you, Uche, for that speaking out. Let's go to the next question, which is also important to me. How can young person with disability balance visibility online with concern about privacy, safety, and online harassment? When you were going out, like you said, your purpose is just to share your concern. Did you in any way feel that you will be harassed, intimidated? Uh, did you in any way feel that your safety may be compromised or something?
I think before you come out on the internet at this point to talk about anything or disclose, especially things that are personal and termed confidential, you should be ready for anything. People are wild on the internet. You meet the good, the bad. So before you come out to share your story, I made several videos about that, about before I posted the last one. I've made tons of videos, and I just developed cold feet, and I end up not posting them because I'm scared of the stigma that comes with telling people, oh, I'm visually impaired. So, but when I finally made up my mind to do that, I knew there was no going back. So before you share your story, you should be ready for anything. And as for safety, I think there are limits to what one can share. As much as I'm sharing my story and people are saying, oh, she cannot see properly, I am also letting you know that I have eyes everywhere. So if you are thinking of doing anything, you are in for a very big. Uh, you are going to share your story. Please come prepared. You have to come prepared. The internet is wild for real. Seriously, it is. So
Yeah,
my advice is
Okay, I'm listening. Your advice will be that they should prepare for either way. That's fine, and I'm happy that you have also taken into consideration your safety also by saying that I have eyes everywhere. I'm fully grounded, because it takes that kind of boldness and taking precautions to actually go out. And I think one of the lessons that everybody can learn from you, a young person, is the fact that self-esteem is very important. You have to have very good high self-esteem of yourself, because like you said, Because when you become known and you are getting traction like this, you will find all manner of people who may want to engage in pity party. But what I've seen is you are so bold, you are very comfortable in your own skin. You don't need any affirmation from anybody to tell you, oh, sorry, oh, and all of that. And I think I've watched some of your videos. There's that conviction that here is Uche, take me or leave me for whatever. This is me. I enjoy my life. I don't need your affirmation to be Uche, who I am. And I think one of your videos that I watched was the one you were saying that one of the nurses, your senior colleague, was talking to you that you were not raised bad, you were raised badly or something, and you were just saying no, 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 no. If you get it wrong, you get it wrong. If it is far, I cannot see you. But if you still don't accept my explanation, I'm fine in my own skin. You can come out with whatever decision you'd like. And I think this is what young people with disability need to know. I think I was there a little, so I know what it means. And you have to be bold. You have to let people you have to be proud of you before people will be proud of you. You have to accept yourself. You have to like your skin and tell people, I am good in my skin. I don't well, if you give me affirmation, thank you, but I don't need it to be who I am to be. And I think these are some of the vital position that young people with disability need to know. They shouldn't allow the society to box them to a corner and all of that. So I'm so proud of that. The other question I want to ask is, in your own opinion, what are the most effective digital tools or platform for advancing disability right advocacy?
A lot of persons are on TikTok. A lot. Young, old, elderly,
Yeah.
adults, people in power, they are all on, they all have TikTok accounts. So you have access. Once you have access to TikTok, all you need to do is make that video and post it. And people who can relate, you find them in your comments, sharing, commenting, and of course the video. Don't ever think that nobody is seeing you. People are listening, people are watching, they want to hear you, they want to see you, they want to know what you would do and what you will say. So please, TikTok anytime, any day. If you have any
I do understand that TikTok is for younger population. The adults that are there are still trying to find their way as much. I know that.
the adults are equally on.
But how active are they? But if you are targeting younger audience, for me it was just not maybe last year that even though I've been in the media for years, TikTok looked like something for me. But I watched video there, but I didn't see any reason to actually be there. But because we do media company and all of that, we had to be there. So, but off the camera, we'll talk about that later on, and all of that. But for you, TikTok will go for it any day, anytime, right?
Yes, TikTok anytime, any day.
Okay, all right. How can policymaker, let's now go to issue major decision. How can policymaker and civil society organizations support digital inclusion for young people with disability?
Digital inclusion is quite broad. It also has to do with jobs, I believe. There are people with a lot of disabilities, and I always suggest that they go for remote jobs because sometimes your disability can get in the way of mobility, and you wouldn't want that. As much as you want to cater for yourself and do the things that you want, you also have to consider your own health at some point. So I think creating more remote jobs would go a long way. I think that is a primary solution personally for in terms of jobs. And for others like students who would be writing exams and they have to be there during exams, I would always recommend trained examiners to be on ground. They can have their training online or wherever, but they just have to be trained enough to know that this is how to cater to the needs, to the academic needs of these persons living with different disabilities. So, yes, remote jobs and training personnel that would cater for their academic needs. Policymakers can equally affect these two solutions, and we'll be fine. It's the baby step, but we'll be fine.
Yeah, thank you for that reply. I'm also thinking that um, policymakers too, they can help by having people monitor because if they do not monitor, they may not get to see some of these advocacies and all of that, and they will be in the dark. So policymakers also need to have people monitor issues that are being discussed so that they can work on some of the grievances, on some of the things that are true. Lastly, Uche, let's look at this. What skill or digital literacy are essential for PWD who want to engage in online advocacy effectively? And then why is self-confidence very vital?
Okay, for skill, you just have to know how to use social media. Social media, I would always talk about social media because it is one place you find every other person on. And then self-confidence and self-esteem. Growing up, my mom would always say, um, once you've accepted something about yourself, nobody can use it against you. You only give people as much, you give people the power to mess with your head when you don't even pour into yourself enough. Self-confidence and self-esteem is paramount. Very online, offline, you have to let people know that you don't need pity. Their validation doesn't count. This is you. And if they cannot deal with it, then that is their problem, not yours. So you just have to be very, very, just know you cannot, nobody can love you more than you love yourself. You show people how best to love you. And if I come to the internet now, if I lacked self-confidence and had zero self-esteem, people will bully me. I'll be bullied into keeping quiet. But no, you can't even do that. You once you watch my videos and then you say, "Oh, no, 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 you can't do this one with this person," and you move. I've made tons of videos, and the negative comments there are just a handful, and that is because of the way I actually present my case. Even if it doesn't make sense, you say, "Oh, it will have to make sense to you." So self-confidence, very, very high self-esteem, very, very important. You cannot change it about yourself. You can't do so much. There is very little that you can do. So why not accept it the way it is? And people will begin to accept it. Again, the take home with this is once you've accepted something about yourself, nobody can use it against you. Period.
Yeah, I mean, thank you very much, Moujekwu Isheshuku, that is popularly known Uche Olivia. I've been having conversation with this young nurse, vibrant nurse, bold and intelligent. She had demonstrated to all that whatever the way you push your image to other people is the way they will accept you. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for your conversation with us today. We see things unfolding, and as the event unfold, we will be glad to keep monitoring some of the things you are doing. On that note, we would like to call on real nursing association philanthropists outside Nigeria who can be there for Uche to get a scholarship, because that's our next move. We see that this can happen. We are using this platform to support our desire to take our educational and skill empowerment outside the country, while we are still believing that Nigeria will get it right and all of that. We see, if you are interested, she's a licensed nurse. She wants to specialize in mental health nursing. You can either reach Uche through us, or we can get you a contact to her. She's very intelligent. We are so proud of her. We are so proud of what she's doing, and we want to be part of our success story. On that note, I want to say thank you to everybody who has listened to this. Like we said, you can always get back to on our platform. You can always reach us through our social media handles, or if you want a private discussion, you can send us info@difficultconversationafrica.org. Thank you, and see you in the next edition.
Thank you for listening to this episode. For inquiry, please send an email to info@difficultconversationafrica.org. Telephone 0809 3160591. Please follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Difficult Conversation Africa. See you soon.